Have you ever, wished you could create your own anime characters?
Yeah.
Like the ones you see in your favorite shows and manga?
Yeah.
What if you could just, describe what you imagined and boom, it just comes to life? Like a super detailed illustration.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie,
It
right?
does.
But it's getting closer to reality every day thanks to some incredible advances in AI.
Definitely.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to be taking a deep dive into a research paper called Illustrious, an open advanced illustration model. And let me tell you, this is a big deal, even if you're not like super deep into the AI art scene.
Yeah, the name Illustrious is really fitting
Oh, yeah.
because it's aiming to be like the gold standard in anime-style AI image generation.
Okay.
And the fact that it's open source is huge. That means anyone can just tinker with the code,
Well,
leading to a ton of innovation coming from the community.
just like opening up the toolbox and letting everyone create something amazing.
Exactly.
So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What exactly is Illustrious?
Oh.
And like, what can it do?
So at its core, it's an AI model that creates anime-style images from text prompts.
Okay.
It's similar to those other text-to-image generators you might have heard of,
Mm-hmm.
but Illustrious is all about quality and control.
Okay.
It's designed to produce images that look like professional illustrations
Nice.
with, crisp lines, vibrant colors, and characters that are anatomically correct.
That's a good thing.
And it's built on the Stable Diffusion XL architecture,
Oh.
which is already pretty famous in the AI art world for generating high-quality images.
Yeah.
But Illustrious takes it a step further,
Heck no.
specializing in that distinct anime look.
Okay, so it's not just spitting out random anime-ish pictures.
Right.
It's taking that powerful Stable Diffusion tech and honing it to create something special.
Exactly.
So what are some of the things that set Illustrious apart? I'm guessing this research paper is buzzing about something really innovative.
Yeah. One of the coolest things about Illustrious is how it handles details,
Okay.
particularly during the training process.
Okay.
They've implemented something called batch sieve and dropout control to make sure that important details, especially the ones that give a character its unique identity, are consistently learned by the model.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I imagine you wouldn't want the AI to randomly forget a character's,
Yeah.
signature hairstyle or eye color halfway through creating an image.
Right.
But what does that actually mean in terms of how the AI learns?
Sure.
What's this no dropout token concept I saw mentioned?
So think of it this way.
Okay.
When a typical AI is learning,
Mm-hmm.
it often throws out random bits of information
Okay.
to avoid getting stuck on very specific details.
I see.
That's called dropout.
Okay.
But Illustrious uses this special no dropout token approach.
Okay.
It's like telling the AI, hey, these specific traits, like the shape of the character's eyes or their special markings, are super important.
Uh-huh.
Never forget them. This makes sure that the AI doesn't accidentally lose those crucial elements when it's generating an image,
Right.
giving much more control over the final product.
So it's almost like the AI is learning to respect the core elements of a character's design.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just randomly throwing things together.
Right.
That seems like a big step towards giving users more control,
Yeah,
which I'm guessing is a big part of what makes Illustrious so exciting.
absolutely.
What other tricks does Illustrious have up its sleeve when it comes to creating amazing illustrations?
Well, another innovation lies in the resolution of the images it's trained on.
Training on those massive images must be incredibly challenging from a technical standpoint, right?
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Training at such high resolution requires serious computational power, but the result is worth it.
Right.
You get these incredibly detailed images with characters that are anatomically accurate even when you zoom in close.
Wow.
Think about how much detail you can pack into an illustration when you're working with that kind of resolution.
Yeah.
It's a whole new level of realism and depth for AI-generated art.
Yeah. No one wants to end up with a character that has weird proportions or blurry features just because the AI couldn't handle the details.
Right.
Speaking of details, I noticed something in the paper about refined multi-level captions.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Okay.
And how does it play into the way Illustrious learns?
So imagine trying to explain a complex scene to someone using just a handful of keywords.
Right.
It wouldn't capture the full picture, right?
Right.
Illustrious goes beyond simple tags and uses both those tags and natural language descriptions during training.
So instead of just feeding it a bunch of words like girl, blue hair, or sword,
Yeah.
they're giving it full sentences to describe what's happening in the scene. and the relationships between the characters.
That's exactly it.
Wow.
It's like the difference between having someone just list the ingredients versus giving them a detailed recipe.
Uh-huh.
With more information, the AI gains a deeper understanding of the image,
Okay.
including those subtle nuances that make a great illustration truly captivating.
Mm-hmm.
This means you can give Illustrious much more creative control.
Okay.
Imagine telling it, draw a character experiencing a bittersweet moment,
Uh-huh.
reminiscing about their lost love under a cherry blossom tree.
Oh.
Illustrious would understand not just the elements, but the mood and emotion you're aiming for.
Wow. This is all incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
But how does Illustrious stack up against the other big names in AI image generation?
Right.
There are some seriously powerful models out there, like Hunyuan Dai, Colors, Stable Diffusion 3,
Yeah.
Flux, and Auraflow.
Yep.
Each with their own strengths.
Uh-huh.
Where does Illustrious fit into this competitive landscape?
It's a crowded field, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Each of these models brings something unique to the table,
Okay.
with different approaches to how they understand and interpret text,
Right.
and how they generate the final image.
Hmm.
Some are better at certain styles, while others excel at different tasks.
Okay.
Illustrious, even though it's built on that SDXL framework,
Right.
really shines when it comes to anime-style illustrations.
Okay.
It's giving those other models a run for their money in terms of the level of detail and the stylistic accuracy it can achieve,
I see.
especially in the realm of anime.
So, even though the competition is fierce, Illustrious is carving out its own space as a top contender,
Yeah,
especially for anyone who dreams of creating their own anime-style art.
exactly.
But before we get too lost in the technical marvels,
Okay.
there's an important aspect we need to address, and that's data ethics. This paper touches on this,
Yeah.
and it's something that we can't ignore,
Yeah.
especially when we're talking about AI models that learn from huge amounts of data.
Definitely.
Where's all this data coming from? And how do we make sure artists are being treated fairly?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
And the creators of Illustrious seem to agree.
Okay.
They emphasize the importance of transparency when it comes to the sources of the data they use.
Okay.
They advocate for making it clear where the data comes from and giving credit to the original artists whose work is being used to train the model.
That's huge.
Yeah.
After all, the world of anime art is filled with incredibly talented and passionate creators
Absolutely.
who pour their hearts and souls into their work.
Right.
It wouldn't be right if their contributions weren't acknowledged.
Exactly.
It's not just about the technology. It's about respecting the human creativity that makes it all possible.
Yeah. Transparency helps build trust and ensures that everyone benefits from the advancements in AI art generation.
Now, while Illustrious is making some serious waves,
Yeah.
it's still a relatively new model, which means it has its limitations.
Right.
So what are we looking at in terms of limitations?
Yeah.
What are the areas where Illustrious is still a work in progress?
One of the key limitations they discuss is the data set itself.
Okay.
They're primarily using the Danbaru dataset, which is incredibly vast,
Okay.
but it relies heavily on tags to describe the images.
Right.
And as we've discussed, tags can only convey so much information.
It's that shopping list versus recipe analogy again.
Yeah.
You can list the ingredients, but that doesn't tell you how to combine them to create something truly special.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And because of this reliance on tags,
Right.
it can be difficult for Illustrious to understand really complex actions, the relationships between characters,
Okay.
or those subtle storytelling elements that make great anime so compelling.
So if I wanted to generate an image of, let's say, two characters having a really emotional conversation in a very specific setting,
Yeah.
I might not get exactly what I'm hoping for.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
You might get the characters in the setting,
Yeah.
but capturing the emotional depth and the flow of the conversation is a much bigger challenge when you're working with a data set that primarily relies on tags.
Right.
It's almost like the AI is missing some of the emotional vocabulary it needs to truly understand and recreate those complex scenarios.
Right? Because even for us humans, putting complex emotions and relationships into words can be tricky.
It is.
Imagine trying to explain the feeling of love or the tension of a rivalry using just a few key words.
Right.
It wouldn't capture the full experience.
It definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that highlights one of the biggest challenges in AI development. Teaching machines to understand not just the literal meaning of words, but also the emotions, the unspoken communication, and the layers of meaning that make human interaction so complex.
It seems like we're bumping up against the limits of language itself.
Yeah.
But even with those limitations, it sounds like Illustrious is still making some incredible strides.
Absolutely.
Are there any other areas where the creators are focusing their efforts to make it even better?
Absolutely. They're aware of the limitations of the data set,
Okay.
and they're actively working on developing new large-scale data sets that use more refined natural language descriptions.
Interesting.
Imagine a data set filled with rich, detailed descriptions of characters, their backstories, their relationships, and even the emotions they're feeling in specific scenes.
That would be amazing. It'd be like feeding the AI the entire script of an anime, not just the stage directions.
Right. They're also looking into ways to incorporate OCR data.
OCR data. Okay.
Yeah, which stands for optical character recognition.
OCR, if I remember correctly, is what allows our phones to scan documents and turn them into text. Right?
Exactly.
How would that play a role in making Illustrious even better?
So OCR is all about teaching computers to read text from images. By training Illustrious on tons of OCR data, they're basically teaching it to recognize different fonts,
Okay.
writing styles, and to connect those visual patterns with their corresponding meanings.
Okay.
Think about it. If the AI can understand text within images, it can start to incorporate those elements into its own creations,
Okay.
leading to even richer and more detailed illustrations.
So instead of just characters and backgrounds, we could have things like street signs, book covers, or even handwritten notes in the illustrations.
Exactly.
That's incredibly cool.
Yeah.
It seems like Illustrious is really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI art generation.
Absolutely.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Okay.
I think it's important to step back and ask, what does this all mean for the average person?
Right.
Why should someone who maybe isn't a hardcore anime fan
Yeah.
or an AI expert care about Illustrious?
That's a great question. I think Illustrious is the powerful example of how AI is changing the way we create and experience art.
Okay.
It's a glimpse into a future where you don't need to be a trained artist
Right.
or have expensive software to bring your creative visions to life. Imagine being able to create stunning, professional quality anime illustrations just by describing what you imagine.
Yeah.
The potential is truly limitless.
That's such an exciting thought.
Yeah,
It's almost like democratizing creativity.
it is.
But with all this talk about AI and its potential to create art, some people might be wondering,
Yeah.
is this a threat to human artists?
Right.
Will AI eventually replace human creativity altogether?
It's an understandable concern.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation that we need to be having as AI technology continues to advance.
For sure.
But I believe that AI, rather than replacing human artists, has the potential to become a powerful tool that can enhance and expand human creativity.
So it's not about AI versus humans.
Right.
It's about finding ways for both to coexist and even collaborate to create something new and exciting.
Absolutely. The future of art is likely to be a collaborative one, where human artists and AI tools work together to push the boundaries of expression and explore new creative frontiers.
And that brings us to another really important aspect of Illustrious.
Yeah.
The fact that it's open source. Why is that such a big deal?
Yeah.
Especially in the context of AI and art.
Open source is a game changer because it means that the code behind Illustrious is freely available for anyone to use, modify, and share.
Right.
This fosters a sense of community and encourages collaboration, which is essential for driving innovation in any field, especially one as rapidly evolving as AI.
I see.
Imagine developers, artists, and researchers all over the world working together to improve and expand on Illustrious's capabilities.
It's like creating a global brainstorming session where everyone can contribute their ideas and expertise.
Exactly. And that open source approach not only accelerates the development of the technology itself, but also helps to ensure that it remains accessible to everyone, not just those with the deep pockets or connections to big tech companies.
It's about democratizing access to powerful tools and empowering a whole new generation of creators to bring their ideas to life.
Yeah, exactly.
This is all incredibly exciting, and I'm eager to dive deeper into the specifics of how Illustrious works and what makes it so special. But before we do that, I want to leave you with something to ponder.
Sure.
If Illustrious can already create highly detailed illustrations at 20 megapixels, imagine what future versions will be capable of as this technology continues to evolve.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
I think that's a great question to reflect on.
Yeah.
The possibilities are truly boundless.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff.
It is.
I'm really looking forward to seeing where all of this goes.
Me too.
So with that, I think we've covered a good amount of ground for now. We'll continue our deep dive into Illustrious in our next episode, where we'll explore the more technical aspects of how this AI model actually works.
Sounds good.
So stay tuned for more.
See you then. Hashtag TTS, the deep dive episode 2024-1027, part 2 of 3.
You know, it's amazing to think about the potential of Illustrious,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you consider how it's designed to replicate specific artistic styles.
Yeah,
It's one thing for an AI to generate something that generally looks like anime,
right.
but capturing the nuances of a particular artist's work, that's a whole other challenge.
Right. It's like the difference between someone who can draw a decent cartoon and someone who can create like a masterpiece in the style of, say, Makoto Shinkai.
Right?
Each artist has their own unique touch,
Yeah.
their own way of using lines and colors to evoke certain emotions and tell a story. Can Illustrious actually learn to mimic those individual styles?
That's what makes Illustrious so fascinating.
Okay.
It's showing real promise in that area.
Okay.
You've developed some clever techniques.
That focus on preserving a character's unique identity
Okay.
and learning from a wide range of artistic styles.
Okay.
It's like the AI is studying under a bunch of different masters,
Uh-huh.
learning to see the world and express itself through their eyes.
That's an awesome way to put it.
Thanks.
So how would this work in practice? Let's say I'm a huge fan of Yoshiyuki Sadamoto,
Okay.
the character designer for Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah.
Could I tell Illustrious to create an image that looks like it was drawn by him?
You absolutely could.
Really?
Let's say you're envisioning a character with that classic Sadamoto look, those sharp lines, the
Oh.
expressive eyes,
Yeah.
the subtle details that bring his characters to life.
Like,
With a basic tag-based system,
yeah.
you might input something generic like girl, red hair, city skyline, melancholic, but with Illustrious, you can take it a step further.
So I could literally add Yoshiyuki Sadamoto style to my prompt,
Yeah.
and the AI would understand what I'm going for.
That's the idea.
Well-
Illustrious has been trained on a data set that includes images tagged with specific artist names.
Okay.
So it's learned to associate certain visual characteristics with those names.
Oh, wow.
It's like saying, hey, AI, I want you to channel your inner Sadamoto for this one.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It opens up so many possibilities.
It does.
Imagine being able to create fan art that perfectly captures the essence of your favorite artist's work,
Yeah.
or even blending different styles together
Right.
to create something completely new.
Just amazing.
The creative potential is mind-boggling.
It really is.
And this ability to understand and replicate artistic styles isn't just a cool trick.
Right.
It gets to the heart of what makes AI art so fascinating.
Mhm.
The ability to learn,
Yeah.
adapt,
Mhm.
and create in ways that were previously unimaginable.
Exactly.
It's like the AI is becoming a true artistic collaborator,
Mm-hmm.
helping us to explore new ideas and express ourselves in ways we never thought possible.
Absolutely.
But as with any powerful tool,
Yep.
there are important considerations we need to keep in mind,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the data that fuels these AI models.
Definitely.
We touched on data transparency earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to dig a little deeper.
Okay.
Why is it so crucial to know where the training data comes from
Yeah.
and who created it?
Transparency is paramount in AI development,
Okay.
especially when we're talking about models that learn from vast amounts of creative work.
Yeah.
Think about it. If Illustrious became super popular and started generating millions of images in the style of a specific artist,
Right.
wouldn't it be fair for that artist to at least be acknowledged
Right.
and potentially even compensated for their contribution?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would be like someone profiting from their creative work without their knowledge or consent.
Exactly.
That would
yeah.
be right.
It wouldn't be right at all.
Yeah.
Transparency helps ensure that artists are credited and that their work is used ethically.
Okay.
It also plays a crucial role in addressing concerns about potential biases in AI models.
Okay, how so?
If we don't know what kind of data a model was trained on,
Yeah.
we can't be sure that it's not perpetuating harmful stereotypes
Right.
or misrepresenting certain groups of people.
So if a model was trained on a data set that primarily featured a certain type of character
Yeah.
or a narrow range of styles,
Yeah.
it might struggle to generate diverse or accurate representations of other characters
Right.
or artistic expressions.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it underscores why transparency is so important.
Okay.
It allows researchers and the public to scrutinize the data,
Uh-huh.
identify potential biases,
Mm-hmm.
and work towards creating more inclusive and representative AI models.
Transparency fosters accountability
Mm,
and helps ensure that these AI models are developed and used ethically.
exactly.
It's not just about creating cool tech, it's
Oh,
about building a future where everyone benefits from these advancements.
I completely agree.
Now, shifting gears a bit,
Okay.
the creators of Illustrious are quite open about the limitations of their current approach.
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes to the Danbaru dataset.
Right.
They acknowledge that its heavy reliance on tags
Mm.
makes it difficult for the model to grasp the nuances of complex actions and relationships.
Yeah.
Why is this a sticking point for Illustrious?
Well, so from what we've discussed,
Yeah.
tags are sort of like a shorthand language for describing images.
Right.
They can convey basic elements like appearance or objects,
Mhm.
but they might not capture the subtleties of a more intricate scene.
Right.
It's like trying to explain the plot of your favorite anime using only emojis.
Okay.
You might get the general idea across,
Right.
but you'd miss a lot of the emotional depth and the complexities of the story.
That's a fantastic analogy.
Thanks.
And it highlights the limitations of relying solely on tags to teach an AI about the nuances of human interaction.
Exactly.
Think about a scene where two characters are deeply in love,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe rivals locked in a tense standoff.
Right.
It's not just about their physical proximity or the objects around them.
It's not.
It's about the unspoken tension,
Yeah.
the subtle glances, the
Mhm.
history they share.
Right.
Those are the elements that make a story truly captivating.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like that's where the current data set falls short.
It does.
It can tell Illustrious what's in the scene,
Mm-hmm.
but not necessarily how those elements interact to create a compelling narrative.
Exactly.
And that's one of the key challenges the Illustrious team is actively addressing.
It is.
They're working on developing new data sets that incorporate more detailed natural language descriptions,
Right.
allowing the AI to learn not just what's in an image,
Yeah.
but also the underlying story,
Mhm.
the emotions,
Mm.
and the relationships between the characters.
That's right.
It's like teaching the AI to understand the language of human connection,
Yeah.
not just the vocabulary of objects and appearances.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thanks.
And it speaks to the incredible potential of AI to not just mimic human creativity,
Right.
but to perhaps even expand our understanding of it.
Oh, wow.
After all, if we can teach a machine to recognize and replicate the subtle nuances of human interaction,
Yeah.
it might reveal something new about ourselves and the way we connect with each other.
It's like holding up a mirror to our own creativity and seeing it reflected back at us in unexpected ways.
I love that.
And speaking of unexpected ways,
Okay.
let's delve into another area where the Illustrious team is pushing the boundaries, rendering text within images.
Right.
They point out that this is a common stumbling block for open source anime generators.
It is.
Why is it so difficult to get right?
Well, I imagine it has to do with the complexity of language itself.
Okay.
For us humans,
Yeah.
text is more than just a bunch of squiggly lines.
Mhm.
We instantly recognize letters,
Mhm.
words, and their meanings.
Right.
We can even discern different fonts,
Right.
handwriting styles, and the emotions conveyed through the way something is written.
Yeah, for sure.
But for an AI, that's a whole lot of information to process.
You're spot on. To render text convincingly within an image, an AI needs to understand not only the visual aspects of letters and words,
Mm-hmm.
but also their semantic meaning
Right.
and how they fit into the overall context.
Exactly.
So it's not just about recognizing shapes. It's about understanding how language works,
Uh-huh.
how it's used to convey information,
Yeah.
tell stories,
Mm-hmm.
and evoke emotions.
Right.
It's like the AI needs to become a master calligrapher,
Yeah.
understanding the nuances of typography,
Mm-hmm.
the flow of words,
Oh.
and the visual impact of different lettering styles.
Exactly.
That's a multi-layered challenge
Yeah.
that involves both computer vision, the ability to see and interpret images,
Right.
and natural language processing,
Mm.
the ability to understand and generate human language.
And as we've discussed, AI is still catching up when it comes to truly grasping the nuances of human language,
It is.
especially the subtle ways we use it to express ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. So that's why rendering text within images remains a work in progress for most AI art generators.
Right.
But the Illustrious team isn't shying away from this challenge.
Nope.
In fact, they're exploring some really interesting ways to tackle it,
Yeah,
specifically by incorporating OCR data into their training process.
exactly.
We talked about OCR earlier,
Mm-hmm.
the technology that allows our phones to read text from images.
Right.
So how would feeding Illustrious a ton of OCR data help it generate better text within its illustrations?
Think of it like this.
Okay.
By training on a massive data set of OCR data,
Mm-hmm.
Illustrious is essentially immersing itself in a world of text and typography.
Okay.
It's learning to recognize the visual patterns of different fonts, handwriting styles,
Right.
and to associate those patterns with their corresponding meanings.
Oh.
It's like giving the AI a crash course in the history and art of written language.
Feels like the AI is studying ancient manuscripts,
Yeah.
street signs,
Mm-hmm.
handwritten letters,
Mm-hmm.
and everything in between, all to learn how to create text that feels natural and integrated within the world of its illustrations.
Precisely. And the more OCR data it absorbs,
Right.
the better it will become at understanding how to create text that's not just legible,
Uh-huh.
but also visually appealing and contextually appropriate.
So imagine a future where you could generate an image of a character holding a sign with a message you typed in.
Yeah.
And the text on the sign would look like it was hand-drawn by the artist, perfectly capturing the style and mood of the illustration.
That's the vision.
That's amazing.
It's a complex challenge.
Yeah.
But the progress being made in AI research suggests that this kind of seamless integration of text and image isn't just a fantasy.
Right.
It's a glimpse into the future of AI-powered creativity.
It's mind-blowing to think about the possibilities.
It really is.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From the technical innovations that make Illustrious so special
Mm-hmm.
to the broader implications of AI art generation for the future of creativity.
Yeah.
But before we move on,
Okay.
I want to take a moment to address the elephant in the room,
Okay.
open source. We touched on it briefly earlier, but I think it deserves a deeper discussion,
Yeah.
especially in the context of AI and art.
Definitely.
Why is the fact that Illustrious is open source such a game changer?
So open source is a powerful concept
Okay.
because it means that the code behind Illustrious is freely available for anyone to access,
Mm-hmm.
use, modify,
Hmm.
and share.
Okay.
It's like throwing open the doors to the creative laboratory and inviting everyone in to participate.
Wow.
This has profound implications for how AI technology is developed and used,
Right.
particularly in the realm of art.
It's like turning AI development into a global collaboration
Yeah.
where anyone with an internet connection can contribute their ideas and expertise.
Exactly.
And that open approach has a ripple effect.
It does.
It accelerates innovation because instead of a small team working in isolation, you have a global community of developers,
Mm-hmm.
artists,
Uh-huh.
researchers, and enthusiasts,
Right.
all contributing to the advancement of the technology.
That's the power of open source.
It's like tapping into the collective brainpower of the world.
It is.
And it's not just about speed.
No.
It's also about diversity of thought and perspective.
Absolutely.
When you have people from all walks of life
Yeah.
with different backgrounds and experiences
Mhm.
contributing to a project,
Yeah.
you're more likely to end up with something that's truly innovative and groundbreaking.
You are.
It's about breaking down the barriers that traditionally limited access to powerful technologies
Right.
and empowering a whole new generation of creators
Mhm.
to bring their ideas to life.
That's what makes the open source movement so exciting,
Yeah.
particularly in the context of AI art generation. It's about making these tools accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical expertise or financial resources.
It's about democratizing creativity and giving everyone the opportunity to explore the potential of AI to enhance and expand their artistic expression.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Now, before we shift gears to explore some of the technical details of how Illustrious actually works,
Okay.
I want to pose a question to you and our listeners.
Sure.
With all these advancements in AI,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think the role of human artists will be in the future?
Right.
Will AI replace human creativity?
Yeah.
Or will it become a powerful tool that artists can use to enhance their own work?
That's a big question.
It is.
And one that I don't think has a simple answer.
Yeah.
It's clear that AI is already having a significant impact on the art world, just as it's impacting countless other industries.
Mm-hmm.
But whether that impact is ultimately positive or negative depends on how we choose to use these tools.
I agree. It's up to us to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly,
Yeah.
ethically,
Mhm.
and in a way that complements and enhances human creativity rather
Yeah,
than replacing it.
that's right.
It's about finding that balance, that synergy between human ingenuity and artificial intelligence.
It's about seeing AI not as a threat,
Right.
but as a collaborator, a partner in the creative process.
Hmm.
And perhaps in learning to teach machines to be creative,
Yeah.
we might even discover something new about our own creative potential. Hashtag TTS, the deep dive episode 2024-1027, part 3 of 3.
It's incredible to think that, we're already at a point where AI can create images that are practically indistinguishable from those created by human artists.
I know, it's amazing.
And with models like Illustrious pushing the boundaries of resolution and detail, it really makes you wonder what the future holds.
Yeah.
If we're already seeing AI-generated art at 20 megapixels, what's next? Could we be on the verge of AI creating entire anime series, complete with characters, stories, and animation, all from a simple text prompt?
It's not as far-fetched as it might sound.
Really?
The pace of advancement in AI is simply mind-blowing. We're seeing incredible progress in areas like natural language processing, which allows AI to understand and generate human language, and computer vision, which enables AI to see and interpret images.
Right.
Combine those advancements with the creative power of models like Illustrious, and the possibilities are truly limitless.
Imagine typing in a description of your dream anime.
Yeah.
The characters, the setting, the plot, twists, and having an AI generate a full-fledged pilot episode ready to watch.
Wow.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction novel.
It does.
But with the way technology is progressing, it might not be science fiction for much longer.
Right.
It's an exciting prospect, isn't it?
It is.
But it also raises some really important questions.
Yeah.
About the role of human creativity in a world where AI can seemingly do it all.
Right.
Will AI eventually replace human artists and storytellers?
That's the big question.
Or will it become a powerful tool that we can use to enhance our own creativity and push the boundaries of artistic expression?
I think that's what we have to figure out.
That's the million-dollar question. And I don't think there's a simple answer.
There's not.
It's likely that AI will have a profound impact on the art world, just as it's already transforming countless other industries.
For sure.
But ultimately, I believe the impact will be largely positive, especially if we approach AI as a collaborator rather than a competitor.
I agree. The key is to view AI not as a replacement for human creativity,
Okay.
but as a powerful tool that can augment and expand our own artistic abilities.
So it's about finding ways for humans on AI to work together, each contributing their unique strengths to create something new and innovative.
Absolutely. It's like a creative partnership where human artists bring their vision, their emotions, their understanding of storytelling, and AI brings its ability to process information, generate variations, and explore new visual styles. Together, they can create something truly remarkable.
It's about embracing the possibilities of this new era of AI-powered creativity,
Yeah.
while also recognizing and valuing the unique contributions of human artists. After all, art is about so much more than just technical skill. It's about expressing emotions,
Right.
telling stories, and connecting with others on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And those are qualities that are uniquely human.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Illustrious and AI-generated art,
Okay.
I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Right.
The focus on anime. Why do you think there's such a strong emphasis on anime within the AI art community? What is it about this particular style that makes it such a compelling area of exploration for AI researchers?
That's a good question.
Anime is fascinating for a few reasons, I think.
Okay.
First, it's incredibly popular worldwide, with a passionate fan base that's always hungry for new content.
Yeah, for sure.
This means there's a huge demand for tools and technologies that can create high-quality anime art, which in turn drives innovation in the field.
Anime conventions are always packed with enthusiastic fans, cosplayers, and artists. It's clear that this art form has a special place in the hearts of people all over the world.
It does.
And anime has this distinct visual style that's instantly recognizable, which makes it a great test bed for AI models that are learning to replicate and understand different artistic styles.
Exactly.
It's like teaching an AI the fundamentals of drawing and composition by having it study the works of master artists.
It is.
Anime, with its stylized characters,
Mhm.
dynamic poses,
Yeah.
and vibrant colors, provides a rich visual language for AI to learn from.
Precisely. And beyond its visual appeal, anime is known for its storytelling,
Right.
its ability to explore a wide range of genres and themes,
Right.
from action-packed adventures to heartwarming romances to thought-provoking science fiction.
Yeah.
And that narrative depth that makes it even more interesting for AI researchers who are trying to create models that can generate not just pretty pictures, but also compelling stories and
It's
characters.
like the difference between a painting that simply captures a scene
Yep.
and a story that draws you in, makes you feel something, and stays with you long after you've finished experiencing it.
Exactly.
And that's what makes AI models like Illustrious.
Yeah.
With their ability to understand complex prompts, generate high-quality illustrations, and even learn to replicate specific artistic styles. So exciting.
It
They
is.
represent a significant step towards a future where AI can be a powerful tool for storytelling and creative expression.
I agree.
This deep dive has been an incredible journey. We've explored the technical marvels of Illustrious, delved into the complexities of AI art generation, and grappled with the philosophical questions surrounding AI and human creativity.
It's been a thought-provoking exploration for sure, and it highlights the importance of staying curious, engaged, and informed as AI continues to evolve and reshape the world around us.
Absolutely. We need to keep asking questions, exploring the possibilities, and ensuring that we're using these incredible tools in a way that benefits humanity and helps us to create a more beautiful, imaginative, and fulfilling future.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
If AI can already create art that rivals human creations, what does that mean for the future of human creativity? Is AI a threat, a tool, or perhaps something even more profound? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share them with us on social media or in the comments below.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Illustrious and AI-generated art. We hope you've enjoyed the journey and that it sparked your own curiosity about the possibilities of this incredible technology. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep questioning more.